Bobby Kennedy's been talking about this too. I cross-examined him for 4 hours over vaccines. That's that's part of his resurrection story.
Yeah.
And it was great. He was very strong. He had answers for all of his critics' questions about him, which is what I was fronting. And the one of the things he was saying was, no, I have not maintained that vaccines cause autism. But I think that we need to look at the toxic stew the children are growing up in as a cause of potential cause of autism. And what's in the vaccines, like the extras in the vaccines, like mercury or aluminum, should also be factored into that discussion. Made perfect sense to me. But he listed it for me in this discussion saying, look at all the things that kids are going through that were not present when I was a kid.
For sure.
He was talking about like tics and ADHD, like everywhere, autism spectrum diagnoses all over the place.
Exploded, yeah.
And so that made perfect sense to me. And then I listened more to you, and you're even next level with it, I think, because you're like, part of the toxic stew is those potato chips and the soda and the absence of cauliflower and broccoli and kale or any of the cruciferous vegetables that might help absorb some of the terrible shit we're putting in our bodies.
They help you detoxify.
Kids, and we're allowing it. I mean, I'm guilty of this too in part. We're allowing the kids to treat their bodies like dumpster fires.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. I mean, when you look at what happened from when I was born in 1959, it was a long time ago, about 50 years.
Not that long.
to now, the change in our chronic disease epidemic is staggering. The change in autism rates have gone from 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 30-something kids, depending on where you look at the data. The rate of neurodevelopmental issues is now affecting 1 in 6 children. We have rising rates of autoimmune disease and allergies in kids. We're seeing obviously obesity in kids, which you never saw before. I mean, when I was in medical school, there was no type 2 or type 1 diabetes. It was juvenile onset or adult onset. Then kids started getting it. Now 30+% of teenagers have prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. It's staggering. And so the question is why? Why has this happened? What's changed in our culture, in our environment, and in the food? Well, we've industrialized our food system. We've made convenience king. The food industry has basically taken over. And when I say food, I mean the food and ag industry have taken over our society in ways that are pervasive and actually measurable. They fund academic centers to do research. They fund 12 times as much, quote, nutrition research as the federal government. They fund academic associations like the American Heart Association, which gets $192 million from the food and in the pharma industry. They fund the Academy of Nutrition Dietetics, which 40% of their revenue comes from the food companies. And when you go to their meetings, and I've been there, and I've spoken there, there's like big exhibit halls that say no pictures allowed. Why? Because it's full of junk food.
Oh, wow.
And they're promoting to the nutritionists as sort of healthy alternatives